We're going to start with the cybersecurity.
Yeah. So just think about, it's got to be within 2 hours. You have to find and kill the bad guy in under 2 hours, sometime around an hour and a half, really, or the bad guy is going to move laterally. And once they move laterally, it becomes a much bigger situation. So through a product that we have called Falcon Complete, where we actually deploy our products, but we actually run them for you too. We have something called 11060. And what we can do with that product is that our SOC, looking at all of those feeds, can see something suspicious within about a minute. And that's usually the ML identifying there's something weird going on here. Within about a minute. And then within about 10 minutes, we do an investigation. That's really something weird going on, or that's a false alarm of some kind. We'll update the ML and that'll, help keep us on track. So 1 minute we find it, 10 minutes we do with an investigation. If it's something bad that's happening, within right now, our average is about 40 minutes, 39 minutes, I think. We clean up the problem and put the device back in service. And so within 39 minutes, it's like nothing ever happened. That's not a breach. It's literally just an incident. And in the modern world of cybersecurity, that's how cybersecurity has to work, because you can build walls to keep bad guys out. But realistically, what have we seen in the last 2 years? Ransomware is up, 600% in healthcare. It's some ridiculous number. That may not be right. Don't quote me, but it's up ridiculously, which means taller castle walls and wider moats aren't working. You have to be able to find them and kill them quickly. If you can, you're good. You can do this 24/7, 365, you're good. But that's a real hard model for healthcare organizations to build and run on their own. This whole idea too around, this is where ideas like zero trust were born from, that you can't trust anything. You have to be looking all the time because bad things only take a few minutes to unleash themselves. And when they do, if it's Saturday, or bad guys love to attack us on the weekends and holidays when you've got somebody on call, but they may not get the email for 4 hours and they may not do something until 2 or 3 hours later to try to resolve a problem. And by then it's game over. You already lost that war. You already lost that battle.
Yeah, I love the fact that we get to talk about this. But with that being said, our first story, Broward Health announced that an intruder had accessed its network through the office of third-party medical provider. They breached 1.3 million records. The normal things for fraud were taken: name, date of birth, address, phone number, financial bank information, social, medical record number, driver's license number, you name it. That was what was taken. The thing I found interesting about this story is they accessed the system on October 15th through the 19th, 4 days. And generally in healthcare, we would say that's pretty good, right? I mean, they
found the person in 4 days and not 8 months.
Exactly. I mean, we've heard stories where it's like, oh, they were in there for 6 months. And we're like, well, they had to take everything. I mean, if you're in there, that would be like somebody robbing your house for 6 months. I would assume they could get whatever they want. But 4 days, granted, they got 1.3 million records, but that's what they can do in 3 days, or 3 or 4 days. They can get 1.3 million records. And so that's why I asked you that specific question. When are we going to start reading about the breaches where the breach happened for 5 minutes and they lost 50 records, and we're going to go, yeah, that's going to become the norm instead of 4 days and 1.3 million records?
Yeah, or I think the reality is that if you do this well, you wind up with a situation where you have an incident, but not a breach. You have an incident, and because you caught it so quickly, nothing was actually exfiltrated because you had good cybersecurity protocols in place to say, when this weird thing stops happening, first of all, just stop it right there. And then let's investigate really quickly. And then we'll kill the bad guy off if it turns out there's something going on there.